So this video is about the benefits of home ownership and how it can make your life a lot easier when it comes time to retire. The first item that I wanted to cover on here is, so one of the many benefits is that if you have your own place, you own your own home or condo or whatever it may be that you have, you can do whatever you want to it as far as decorating. If you want to paint the walls purple, you can. If you spill wine on the carpet, it's no big deal. You know, it's your own place. And having that, I believe it really can give you a good feeling. You know, rather than if you're renting and then you need to be careful of everything you do, you know, to not destroy the owner's property. So that's the first item. The second thing that I wanted to mention is that home appreciation has averaged 4.5% per year over the last 30 years. And so typically when somebody goes to purchase a home, let's say the home now, as an example, would be $300,000. And the down payment that the buyer has to put down, depending on the loan program that they use and stuff, it could be as low as 3%. You know, so if you have, on average, let's make it simple, you know, let's say it's a 4% increase in value over each year, over let's say a 30-year period. Well, then, as long as you purchase a home before your retirement, you know, it could be 20 years, it could be 30 years prior to you getting ready to retire, then when you do retire, you won't have a house payment. It'll be paid off. And you won't have to rent. So one of the things that made me make this video was I was online looking at a rental popped up in the area that I used to work in. And the rental was about 2,000 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and the rent was $3,400. And I thought, wow, that's just insane. $3,400 for an average home, basically. And it made me realize that, hey, about 15 years ago, that same property, they would be lucky if they were pulling in $1,800 per month. And the owner that bought that property probably has a payment somewhere, maybe, if it's the original owner, of maybe $1,400 per month. So, yeah, so it's an incredible profit, you know, if you're renting if you have a $1,400 house payment and then you're able to rent the place for $3,400, imagine what that would do to boost your retirement income. If you're living on Social Security, you know, whatever the source may be, if you can boost that by a couple thousand per month, wow, what a boost that would be. You know, so the first thing is that a lot of people it's almost like they have a fear of purchasing. So even though they're paying, as an example, they're paying $2,000 a month for rent, if they were to buy, maybe and again, these are examples. If they were to buy, maybe that payment would be $2,400 per month. But a lot of times people don't want to cut back on their other expenses, and they just feel like, oh, no, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. And they just put it off, and then the prices continue to rise over time. And then they don't do it, or they don't qualify any longer to purchase. So I think it's highly important to try to have a place that you actually own before you retire. Because if you don't, and if you still have to pay rent, and if those rents are sky high, then maybe the Social Security, well, as an example, if the Social Security check is $2,000 a month, and then you have a rent payment of $2,400 per month, well, you're kind of in bad shape. So you really want to try to avoid this at all costs. You know, it's just not a good way to go. So, and also, when you purchase a home, you have something called the power of leveraging. And so if you're only putting, let's say you're putting down $10,000 as a down payment on that property, but the property's value, let's say it's $300,000, then when that property goes up, if it goes up 4% in a year, then that would be $12,000 of equity that you now have in that house. So for some people, they just don't want to make any sacrifices, and that's okay. But in the long run, it could really affect you if you don't have a huge savings account or something like that, or stocks or what have you. You don't want to retire and have to pay rent and be broke. So anyway, these are just my opinions, and gives you maybe something to think about. And for some people, if they say, oh no, it's just not doable, you know, then maybe for that person, maybe look at buying a cheap piece of property somewhere so that you at least have somewhere to go if things continue to go up, which I'm positive they will. Again, these are just my opinions. Make your own decisions, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. If you're looking to buy a house, but you keep putting it off every year, then you need to, at some point, probably take that plunge, and you'll be glad you did. So, or I think you'll be glad you did anyway. So this is just an afterthought. You know, a lot of YouTubers and stuff, well, basically YouTubers, a lot of them will say, oh, the area, you know, the area in the Philippines or Thailand, they're building too many condos. There's going to be a crash in values, and don't buy, just rent because the rents are so low. And my thought to that is that, you know, just like if you're watching this video, you're probably maybe considering making a move to the Philippines or Vietnam or one of these places. And typically, you know, so just like you're looking to move over to one of these places, there's probably a million other people that are also. And as those people make that move, the rents will creep up. And normally when the rents go up, the home values go up. So if you really know where you want to retire at, if your heart's stuck on the Philippines or Thailand or wherever it is, or Brazil, you should really take a look at if you're single, then maybe look at condos, and just don't think that rents will stay down cheap forever, because they won't. So unlike what a lot of people say, they'll say, oh, the rents aren't going to ever, rents are staying low for a long time. Yeah, Well, if the rents were staying that low for such a long time, a lot of the people that are making the move are probably doing it because they waited too long in their own country to purchase. So something to keep in mind. All right. Sana all. Hey, thank you so much for listening, and have a good day or evening, whatever time it is. Thanks. Bye.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.